Hello and welcome all on Nara Media Watch. Media Watch, the initiative, the Media Association of Solomon Islands, MASI. And as usual, imigare mo kata wakaman in Mary inside lo media industry, o kata come for share o kata stories, o kata kavam inside lo kata newsrooms lo kata, and also other issues, o kata kavam where him relates lo media. And as usual, inside Law Media Watch, me host and moderator, Gina Kekia, and by me introducing what the panelists for you this fala edition. By me start from my right, you got Alex Tadamu, who hemi waka with him Sunday Isles, and then on my far left, you got Prisley Habru, hemi one fala director Law Island Sun, but hemi also do other waka him too, papa hemi hear him story come later, and of course, face when you look him all the way on TV2, the Spotlight, and also the editor, Lo SPM Online, Robert Iroga. So welcome, blokes, gentlemen, lo program Lo Media Watch for today, and we hope Papa you fala start with me fala lo next 30 minutes or so, where we fala story come over the issues where the government inside the media, and over the current issues that happen in the country, Lo you too. So when we start from you, Alex, coming to you, you follow Sunday Isles, what now, hemi hot? Lo newsroom play fala lo this fala past week or what they fala cover this time. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Thomas. Currently, mi fala concentrate Thomas lo sport stories and environment. And as recently know, fala workshop where we have been attending last weekend. And yes, since we follow weekly newspaper publication, and so we will looking some for interesting issues where we was covering for publication. Okay, one such interesting issues and COVID-19 impact law environment and environment stories. So, law this law issue here. We will look law COVID-19 impact law environment law with regards to waste management and excessive use of plastic. Where since COVID-19 and start and people start coming in the country, and also use of plastic and accident now pre-COVID-19.
Pre-COVID-19. So you mean those were inside the quarantine or
inside quarantine?
Oh, okay.
The use of local quarantine. Where at the point people look at him now, because estimate him that 0.97 na one fala patient and been one of a patient and producing waste one fala day.
Oh,
and
okay.
With him statistics what the people are coming through quarantine station blaming law recently in 2,376 patient na come passing through finish na at the quarantine station.
So then you multiply.
So if you multiply come passing start since start come passing that time, it been producing 32 tons of waste. So story
okay. So I'm not saying one follow because interesting one, especially the statistics, something where you looking but aware but what never happened and how you mean. But you hear him that whole story, I mean, you ever come across that one?
Actually similar story too at the city council of the travel doing. So low waste limit I think was 32 tons of rubbish 32 tons low the 3 ton truck karena rubbish we producing every day, and out of 32 tons low the truck I think we dispose no more 4 fall or 5 fall, so the rest them float low rubbish no more. So actually we did one story last year, and I'm interesting for looking how now awesome immobility of people out stop no more than waste out of plastic or take them go synthesis. So how much more we want to move around the plastic? So I'm good. So.
True. And then come to you, what now issue or whatever you like to highlight for you this program?
Thanks, Dean. I think one of the big stories that all of us would have known by now is the city is Honduras City Mayor has been toppled yesterday, motion of no confidence. And I think from information we got is that us until yesterday morning, the city or the members were supporting Mayor, 8 of them. Or I say that if you sakim clock blame, by me for stop with him. That's according to one man we talk with him. But Mayor Hami said, "Baby Sakim, no number one load April." So eventually he's gone. So I understand that the contract law mayor, contract law city clerk was tied to the contract of the mayor. If the mayor goes, city clerk goes. So that's why I'm saying a little bit hard for him. So I'm now awesome. But I think as we would have known, this is the pinnacle, or this is the highlight of what has happened at the city council. The city council has been dominating the headlines for all the wrong reasons. We had what is called the fire extinguisher, where minutes claimed to be attended by some people, or refusing. The same thing happens in the sale of the land. 8 councillors who were puppeted or claimed to have attended, or come later or attend. So all goes back to the city clerk, Mr. Sore, who probably fabricated all these things, and he's paid the price. And you know what? Immediately, basic rate taxpayers, we pay tax to the city council through the taxis where they may use buses. So all these things, we go back, then we have a stake inside. So we hope by our garam some for a sense and to put some good people for leading me for next 2 years. And another story me highlight is a vaccine rollout here. The biggest story long. Solomon Islands and region, and I think every journal colleagues would have agreed that a big story because only second to Fiji, where country we taken 24,000 under COVAX. So AstraZeneca now taken. So far rollout is not really good. Prime Minister wasn't happy because certain people were expecting frontliners didn't show up. And I think one of my colleagues was saying that as we were driving, the line long there about today, and we hope line never long all the way. So it's a kind of I probably come back later to it. I think there's a lot of misinformation, disinformation, and a lot of fallacies of people for what affect them now. People were not like for taking vaccine. So probably a communication strategy efficient as we would have liked to think. So I'll leave it there, then I'll probably come back later.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Robert. And it's interesting, Priestley. I think you're listening to follow topics where we come around the table this follow time. You've been very instrumental, especially in the past weeks for carrying out for leading now training for the journalists. We're one of those extraction resources where maybe fortunate to get some of the speakers over the camp for speak look at a journalist, and one of those where I have mentioned now some ways Alex will talk about. And then of course just previously we got this infodemics law vaccine. So you play leading role especially for highlighting of the issues for helping of the journalist for survey. You share them come a little bit now, Hannah, we'll come up with the topics of set.
Yes, so firstly starting with environment reporting course workshop that Timivala organized last week for 3 days, where Alex and me talk about, and been funded by Internews, where me work with Mogata as content coordinator until contract done by finish next tomorrow. So that was the highlight of the work of Blooming with Mogata to deliver that training on reporting on the extractive industries and endemic species in Solomon. So one interesting topic that came out was the calculation of how the quarantine people inside the quarantine are using the waste, especially just using no plastic because of the nature of the virus that not using permanent cup and spoon and things of them. So the waste that they used has to be disposed of, and therein increasing now the number of waste that go around. So that was just one of the topics that was highlighted actually by the PS of the environment time come in presentation. We had PS Blue Mines and Energy, also Director Blue Mines and Minerals Board too, Mines and Mineral, who also came and talk about extractive industries. That follow workshop. So there's a lot of high caliber people who come and do some presentation, and lots of information there where other reporters, like one interesting one, and pick him up. A lot of examples and cases there. We also had chance to go for a visit Baran National Park here, where we look at conservation as opposed to extraction of industry. So just two forces are coming in. Yeah, like I was saying, you may because of COVID-19, we have to fast track out the minerals for him to have a good time mining industry, but at the same time we need to balance it with the conserving environment too. Secondly, on the next the workshop that we held yesterday on infodemics, which was sponsored by ABC International Development. So as one of the main topic is about the vaccination, where Robert am highlighting. So what a journalist just exposed to try to identify what is misinformation, what is disinformation, and try to verify Garemoto tools where you try to verify news before you put them out to the public. Because as it is, especially when it comes to vaccination, it's very difficult to as you look at the examples, like people maybe Garem to teaching a little bit for go vaccinate. Why? So I'm not trying to find out why. You may not role blame as journalists to put them out information, or you may contribute to amplifying the misinformation too. Things of same. So I'll stop there. So those are the two things that might be as I'm related to one come in the story today.
Thank you, Priestley. And before we come back, possibly Alex, we come back to you, Robert. You mentioned him now communication strategy, yeah, and then you may talk about disinformation, misinformation. Law, especially law vaccine, where we roll out this for a time. Yeah, what do you mean by a proper communication strategy coming from government side for helping people, especially for those where to think for Campanila or kind of thing?
Thank you, Gina. I think any program to be efficient, you have to have a communication strategy. A communication strategy should tell you on how you roll out more programs. So, for instance, if you carry out one for a workshop or you're doing a training, you have to plan in which way now by communicate law what the people believe. So this one, government me thinking government me fail for doing more of a proper communication strategy where me give him authorized and legal information called people blow or people blame me through the right communication channels, lot avenues where available. You cannot use traditional media for communicate. You just cannot put a big advert inside the newspaper or whatever, and then you expecting people to read it. No, you have to pieces of information here. Then you send them go through every channels, Facebook, the newspapers, the radio, TV, online, all these places. And of course, you have to do several short clips of videos where we portray information through the popular people, through the actors, main actors, sports people, church leaders, and people also here. So that now frontline lot information. So there's a lot of ways in which I think the government has not been doing the right thing. First, there is no one source where we taking information from. Second, information has not been simplified and it's not going to the right people. So and now some communication strategy. So it's good to hear the PM was saying that they'll be rolling out a massive campaign in the media, but how? That's what me like say. And we need to know it because to diffuse misinformation and disinformation, you have to give authorized and legal information to the people, lot of right communication channels. If Facebook is a source of wrong information, then your audience or target should be targeting the Facebook people there. If most of the information have come from the villages, what using five message blue, using radio or using what pidgin or even some languages, popular languages, then you communicate. So all of us are communicators. And if you feel normal, if communication go through people, you can feel it. People are not taking information. It's all road close. You communicate to the people. But if not hearing, what come there no more? So you need to amplify your message in stages. 1 or 2 hours before they close, you inform the people now. Oh, I'm close until time also open. So by evolution, no, road also. That's how I'm working. I think I'm not mean for trying to talk about communication strategy. So every good communicator should have a very good communication strategy that focuses on now, immediate, which is now, and then a little bit future, and then long term. Kind of thing.
Okay, thank you. Alex, you got any comment on that one? Will you make it?
I think most population, below in the Solomon and basically rural areas in the home province and I think what the need for some about I mean information I'm not kasi mereka boleh dia itu email kan I think less percentage naman ini lo Facebook ini access mo the information government giving mo and
thank you, Alex. And then coming back to briefly the role of the media, the session where you follow, especially for infodemics, the role where journalists then claim to for help for countdown now disinformation or also to for you to no misinforming public, with this rollout now happening, the role of local journalists, do you feel that we are participating or approached in a way or some communicators too, or you mean or some spectators no inside of this process?
Yeah, so there was this question around that how you may the journalist here, you may front can be classified as frontliners too or no? So there was some differing opinions about that. But I think one thing that you may learn in the workshop yesterday was Selewa has to be informed well about the vaccination and about coronavirus before you start preaching out. Yeah, I think that's the main message. So why not you as journalists, you classified as frontliners too and take them up vaccination too, so that you may lead by examples too. Yeah, you may lead by example. Meeting that is the only way that you must have experience himself. You must have informed about vaccination ourselves before you must have preaching. No good. You may not intend for passing misinformation, but because you may not inform about it, you may already pass him to in misinformation, because misinformation is an information that you not intend for harm somebody, but somehow by accident you pass him now. So we are also contributing to amplifying the misinformation if we will not informed by you not informed about the coronavirus or about the vaccination. So I think by informing ourselves, equipping ourselves with the knowledge of vaccination and the coronavirus itself, I think it's also good to lead by examples and take him vaccination too. I think they should classify us as frontliners, and also you may go take him too, so that you may write about him, you may say too that this is how we experience it. This is how I'm equipped with the knowledge and information about the coronavirus and also the vaccination.
You mentioned misinformation and disinformation. You explained it with misinformation, but for others, we're not really meaning the difference between them. What na misinformation? What na disinformation?
Yeah. So misinformation is the information that you said just accidentally. You just put to number. You know intent for harm anyone, but somehow that information harm somebody. But it's not your intention to harm. You just with good intent you say that information good. So maybe you share them law Facebook, you share them law. You write about it, but accidentally you know say that there's a wrong information that by harm somebody. This information is you intend for harm somebody. So you deliberately pass that information to harm somebody. So in that way you are spreading disinformation.
Okay.
So sometimes they refer to disinformation as malinformation too. So those are the two differences between disinformation and misinformation.
Thank you, Priestley. And coming back to HCC, Robert, you mentioning that HCC in the spotlight for the wrong reasons now, passing this for a time. From your side, Baba, you follow up because you mentioning that city clerk employment plan him also with him Noma Maya too, yeah. Are you interested to? Are you going to do a story on it? The follow up part of it.
Thank you, Jean. I think every citizen or city Honiara, I think we all have a stake in Honiara City. So the fact that it involves the politics now, Big Boss brought out, and as taxpayers and basic rate payers, we all have an interest. So yes, I'll definitely follow up. What I'm hearing is that there'll be 14 days, and after 14 days, then there'll be, as of yesterday, I think the clerk should have informed the minister responsible, Minister Homaves, for dealing with him case here. after outcome location, then they'll have an election for the new mayor in 40 days, as of yesterday or even today. So we look forward for election law of the new mayor. But the problem is that when new mayor come within the current one's no mayor, there's no call in the media for even city council to be dissolved because everyone is entangled in a kind of a web. So if you follow up law PAC, the PAC exposes a lot of weaknesses within the HCC. Wat negara na law where help mo kata for half of spending sila niya. That one law may other try to create a normal law, and then it is illegal for entity like HCC, which is in part of government too, for taking private loan, from a monogam loan, rather than you go through a commercial bank and you go through system. So, and then of course the sale of the land, and a lot of other dubious things same happen. I understand that from documents we got, land law HCC and the law chairman woman block at should not sell them since 2019. They are allowed to sell any plot of land there, but they went on to do it. So I think with all the mess that is happening out there, when the former mayor came into power with his clerk, we were so hopeful that everything might change. Yeah, like I was saying, what I started for cleaning Honiara, they cleaned up a lot of mess, and they at the market, and then they were clamping down on the houses below side road, and all of a sudden everything stopped. Yeah. It's typical Solomon Islands, Gina, because once you start to hit other people, they come on the back door and start knocking you down. I don't know what they do to you, but you saw the trend in Honiara. So we need strong leaders who can be able to stand, so that even some of those challenges come, also withstand that one. So the good work about to Volumania, I'm off normal a few face months, and that's an explanation. Ask Jonas, we need to ask why. Yeah, Presley would have liked to ask to why now you active, then all of a sudden you did, and then you involved in all these dubious things. Yeah. So Sora is a respectable man. I had him on spotlight, and I was so hopeful that things would have gone well, but it turned out that what a while I'm PAC a bit problem too. Yeah. So I think we should not stop on our laurels, but we must keep on ensuring who holds a public office must be accountable to the people, you and I, our taxpayers. And this is a capital city where everybody may own him, not only the city people know. You need a man, Mr. Gina. Yeah.
It's interesting to note that HCC go it, and then on the sideline we got him to every motion of no confidence against him.
So he's the first provincial or city leader to lose his position when all the hype and all the decision most of no confidence. Gwale survives because of withdrawal. Central Province survived. So this guy is a face to lose. So it's not really a good face for city council.
Anyways, okay, come back to you, Alex. Follow up the story below environment and the waste management issues. If I'm able to talk with him, HCC, lo that one or waste management.
I think we will try for government social. We will look for story with him. PS environment. Yeah, we will try for establishing the general question or setting up appointment for interview. From there, when we just looking at interview.
HCC also mota inside this fala little bit spotlight or whatever scandal or whatever you say call them. So I think most local services flow that they are affected too. I'm not too sure about that, but they're good because interesting for survey what now what that them, especially when it comes to the Ranandi dump site and how good remote collection of rubbish and waste management issues, but this are mainly because of quarantine. So which is why PS environment would be the best person to speak to when it comes to that issue. But I think Group Leader Los Sandals, you've done a good job, especially when it comes to covering issues of environment. Though publication, you may not have a look in, but the visibility, social media and online, there, especially the issues where you cover environment as well as tourism. So I think that's a bonus for you, especially the rich, where you Garem, with the stories you cover newsrooms play. But then coming back to you, Prisley Noma, before you come on, we're coming to the end of the program. Just basically any final comments you like to make them before you come on Robert and come on Alex, of the topics when we cover inside Media Watch today.
Yeah, I think just a final comment Noma is coming back to me as journalist Noma, we have a very important role to play in fighting or combating misinformation or disinformation that is around. We've seen the example in our neighboring country, PNG, and the siege of coronavirus in PNG. So I think him no long time now, maybe by himself kasem yumi if we are not careful. So in the event that yumi garam community transmission, that is the very dangerous thing that by me ever experiencing. People will go on a panic mode. Suppose yumi garam a community transmission here also. So far we are lucky you know kasem at that stage, but who knows in the future or in the just near future. So we have a very noble and responsible role as journalists to try and stopping misinformation and disinformation around, so that we pass him the correct information for the people who me or to sabe more about him and willing to participate in all the taking vaccination and all this. But coming back to just simple rules for avoiding sick, always come back to the rules that he is washing hands, social distancing, and practicing those simple rules. I think by me helping me for him getting good record of no transmitting this was sick inside the community. So I think that's the final team electoral is that we have a very important role. We must play our role. Be informed by us, be informed about it, and so that we report it and combat him, try to avoid him misinformation and disinformation for pass around the community. Thanks.
Thank you, Presley. And for you, Robert?
Thank you, Gina. I think finally, me for the question that though social media has a very small population, these are the most active and the most poisonous, I would say, group of people where also in any communication strategy, you need to put more focus on people. So that if you change your mind, because these are the people who actually, when government talk about banning social media and all these things, these are the people here no more. Have no ban in a village or something, no ban in our place. So I think if Yumi or the strategists, communication strategists, we need to focus on these people to give right information and tell them where now before you go for right information. And this is for journalists too. Journalists are as good as information or take them. So if we are giving the wrong information, then surely we will disinform the entire masses. So help on us on the Ministry of Health, or if whoever is responsible, not the PMO. PMO is more on policy to give us the right information and connecting people. And then we got one question to you, Gina. Why not say me frontline, but no any invitation come from Gondila? When the vaccines arrived from the border, we were the first to be at the airport with all these frontliners, and we were the only non-frontliners. So imagine if the vaccines came with some poison, with whatever. You need to finish, So I think the government need to rethink and come through MASI and get some jobs on the generous people like you and I or Presley who will probably, and we went to the borders, we went everywhere else the others don't go. So we are more frontliners than the frontliners themselves. The frontliners only go to certain places, but we go beyond the frontlines. And we risk our own lives, risk the lives of the families that we may come from. So I think, and then finally, Gina, I'm going to talk also, this sort of vaccine, though some people stand against them, have scientifically proven. So me encouraging people try to get them actual information, then I try to go nila if time will come, you go nila, disobey the government.
Same is one, particularly polio, nila commissions. But through one night, especially for us in the media being frontliners, I think you may wakalo frontline. I think we expecting for the government look savilo you may also frontliners too. But I think government I think expecting for you may apply or may sa what.
Well, vice president belum masih yang bingung government tu so hopefully by waktu ini.
Part of communication strategy claim na I should address it first time before because I'm not inside them.
Yes, I'm not
strategic. But anyways, thank you Robert for that. Hopefully after this one, bye you may everyone go nila na. And for you, Alex, what's your final take, Media Watch Play Me for this week?
I think communication links from the both the health authorities with regards to spreading of right information for the general public. Health authorities meeting should work together with the MASI and stakeholders and improve this communication for further reporting out of accurate and fair information for the readers.
Thank you, Thomas Alex. Well, over the viewers, hem nomor 2 one mi kasim inside lo media watch play me for this follow week. Me must thank him over the panelists play me. Alex, the damu hem with him Sunday Isles, and me one follow over the young journalist, but also and me hold them senior position inside the newsroom. And me a little bit executive for come inside lo media watch, but it's good to have these young ones taking the leadership roles for building confidence over the two for appear awesome lo over the program play me. And of course, we have Priestley Habru. Thank you, Thomas, for coming on the show. And, famous or popular face on TV, Robert Iroga. Also, thank you so much for giving your time for come inside the program, Blamilo Media Watch. And as usual, me, moderator and host, Blamilo this fala program, Gina Kekia. Thank you, fala too, for start with me fala, lo this fala program. Look forward for stop sit down together, same time, same place. Lo here, lo TTV1.